Good morning, everyone. This is Chris with HashRelay.net, bringing you an early morning market update. Apologies for not bringing you an end-of-day market update last night. I had some encoding issues with my video, and, well, I'm learning. So, anyway, hopefully this will post correctly, and if not, you won't hear this message, so we'll just get right on to it. Here at CoinMarketCap, you can see that our global markets at 432 billion. Daily trading volumes 28 billion. Bitcoin lost a little bit of dominance. It's down to 34%, dropped as low as a third of the market. I do wish I had last night's video. It was much more exciting. Bitcoin is up to $8,700. Got up to $9,000 over the day. Ethereum got up to 900 for the day. It's down to 880. But overall, the market is still growing pretty solidly. Go ahead and take a look at the daily global chart. If it'll load, there we are. You can see a nice solid run up for the day. Get a little bit of tapering here in the early morning, but when the American markets wake up, we should see it grow back to an equal strength, I would say. $450 billion would be a good starting point for the day. Move on over to on-chain FX. You can see that 9 coins are above the 50% down from all-time high. Still leaves plenty of coins that are on a decent sale. Litecoin, Bitcoin, Stellar Lumen, 57% off. 0x, NeoGas, 56. Growing market, you may not see these prices again for quite a while, if ever. So if we take a look at the charts, you can see the Bitcoin's got some nice growth going. Managed to break out of this downtrend line. It's got kind of a short body on that candle, but looks like it's still in line with this uptrend. We are getting a reduction in volume, but you can see on the MACD we've come to test this yellow line. We may actually break above it here momentarily. Histogram also come up to that 0 line. Maybe see a crossover here. And the RSI started to flatten out a little bit. Probably due to the lowering volume, but want to see it pick up closer to that 50 line. Though it may dip down and touch this 30 line again. And if it tests that and bounces off, it'll have additional strength to reach that 50. So we'll be looking for that in the next couple days. Moving on to Ethereum, got this short-term uptrend line going as they've broken out of this short-term downtrend. Again, seeing a little bit of small candle here, reduced volume here. MACD's flattened out, though it is drawing ever closer to this yellow line. Came up to test it once and failed, so hopefully we can break on through. Getting some short bars on the histogram here. And the RSI is flattened out, but it's fairly close to that 50, so we'd like to see it touch up a little bit, go above that line. Litecoin actually has broken out of its long-term downtrend, which is excellent news. It's going to have some resistance from this uptrend line, but if it can push through that and continue this short-term uptrend line, then it should have a good chance of reaching the $200 mark by next week. We can see it's finally crossed over on the MACD. We've got a couple little bars on the positive side of the 0 line. RSI is flattened out around 45, but with this growth, we could see it touch that 50 in no time. Moving on to Neo, see still a little bit of weakness here, getting a lot of resistance from this downtrend line and the former all-time high. There's still quite a ways from this uptrend line, so they are getting a little bit of boost from that. And they haven't crossed this body fully yet, so we'd like to see them stay above the mid-range of this candle if we can. On the MACD, you can see it's starting to tread down a little bit, diverge from this yellow line. We'd like to pick it back up. But on the RSI, we have yet to touch that 50 line, so it may bounce off that once before coming back up to the 70. Steam is looking fairly good, continuing this uptrend nicely. Still got a lot of ways to go before they hit this downtrend, so they're getting a little bit of pressure there. But hopefully they can gain some strength following this uptrend. And possibly a couple of weeks we could see this intersection. MACD looks like it's coming back around to touch this yellow, getting a nice leveling out at very least. On the histogram, we're getting bars are getting a little shorter. It looks like the RSI bounced off that 50 line. That's a good indication it could come back up to the 70, and that's what we're really looking for Steam. Komodo is doing a lot of consolidation. I expect it to run pretty straight right into this intersection here. We're getting a flattening out on the MACD and the RSI. Some shorter bars on the histogram. For Vertcoin, actually seeing some positive growth. It's managed to touch above this downtrend line. We'd like to see it push above and eventually get a full candle above. If it even consolidates sideways for a couple of days, we'll break through that, which would be massively positive for Vertcoin. They've been in a long-term downtrend for a good long while. Now they do have a lot of pressure from this long-term downtrend line. Got a long ways to go before they reach that, but the first step is breaking into the shorter term. As long as they follow this uptrend set by this double bottom, they should start to gain some positive momentum, which would be great. We have finally crossed over fully on the MACD. Got lengthening bars on the histogram in the positive direction. And the RSI's got a nice upward curve. It's about to touch that 50 line, so once it does, we're really looking to see it break through that line. Quantstam's had a pretty good week, though they are still following this downtrend line. Got a nice red candle here, so they might see some reduction in price, some consolidation to this line. But they've got a lot of distance between their uptrends, so they have some good upwards momentum. You can see they have tested the yellow line on the MACD. They tested it once earlier in January and failed, so good chance that they could break through, though sometimes you get a double failure on that. And if we look, we can see that the RSI is angling back down towards this 50, so we'd like to see it stay above that, bounce off, but a couple more days and we'll be able to tell for some real confirmation. Going on to Lumen. They are also following their short-term downtrend line, but they are holding above the uptrend line, so consolidation again, probably to this intersection. The MACD sort of leveling out, still quite divergent from the yellow line. Got a shortening of the histogram bars, which is good news. On the RSI, we have actually broken above this 50 line, so we want to see it continue that positive growth there. Go right on up to the 70 would be perfect. Cardano's showing a little bit more strength today, continuing on this uptrend, though If they don't break above this downtrend line, the chances are they could trade in this downward channel still. They're getting pretty flat on the MACD, fairly flat on the histogram as well. They are in a positive trend on the RSI, so we'd like to see the MACD come up and test that yellow line. And that should indicate a good breakthrough this downtrend. And if we go to ELF is actually not doing too great today. Had a doji candle yesterday, which shows some uncertainty. And then a strong red candle today. Probably follow this downtrend, possibly to this intersection. Hopefully we can move sideways for a couple of days, and that would break us through this downtrend line. We're getting some extra divergence on the MACD from this yellow line. Longer negative bars on the histogram. RSI is fairly flat here, but maybe angling down in a short curve. And moving over to Poet. Thank you, TradingView. You can see that they have a full candle above this downtrend line. We'd like to see them hold that. They have a nice big channel in here to move in a gentle uptrend, which would be great for the long term. They're narrowing out a little bit on the MACD, really short bars on this histogram, flat on the RSI, sitting right below that 50 line. And the final one today, Sonam's getting a good little pump up after it's broke out of this downtrend line. We'd like to see it come up to this downtrend line and test it at least once before breaking through. We're getting really close to testing the yellow line on the MACD. We've got some very short bars in this histogram here. We've got a nice uptrend on the RSI. The closer it gets to 50, the better it'll look to break through this downtrend line here, and that'll put it outside of its long-term downtrend, which would be good news. So that'll be the market update for today. If you guys found this useful, go ahead and hit that like button and share with all your friends. And click on the subscribe button, the little notification bell, so you can get updates when I post a new video. And if you're on Steam, go ahead and give me a follow. I'll follow you back. So that's it for now, and as always, I'll talk to you later.